Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello. I know you don't often see me at this time of day, but I had a little bit of work to do trying to present some embossing folders. So, because I'm due to do a class on them in about a month's time. So I figured I may as well come live and do it in front of you. So this is going to be very much focused on technique. There's not going to be an end result, but if you are a little bit hesitant about or not quite sure how to use embossing folders, then this is the tutorial for you. You may want to watch it on double speed if you're watching this on the replay. Hello, by the way, if you're watching this on the replay. So embossing folders, what are they? What do we do with them? You know, how do we get the most out of them? That's hopefully what I'm going to be covering today. So I'm just going to say a very quick hello to everybody on the live. Thank you so much for joining me. Lovely to see you here. Susan's playing with embossing folders, the wax paper one. Which one's that one, Susan? I'm intrigued now. I'm going to have to look that one up. Hi, Martina. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Paula, Shaz. Great to yeah, I'm glad we can be here for you. Yeah, still got your daughter in our thoughts and prayers. Hi, Caroline from California. Janine, Joanna, Deborah. Hello, Bonnie, Sally from New Hampshire. Hi, Deborah Mitchum. Lovely to see you. Been a little while, my darling. Nice to see you. Right, so I've got on my desk various embossing folders. I just grabbed all the ones out of my my box that I've got and wanted just to go through various techniques with you. So one of the first techniques that I wanted to show you was the one where you actually use pens to colour. So oh, actually, before that, let's go back a second. Let's just explain about embossing folders for those of you who may not know. So embossing folders are these fabulous plastic things. They open up and you insert paper into the middle of them, then you close it down, and then you have to run it through some kind of die cutting machine. And the reason you have to do that, and rather than just say stand on it or something, is because you need to have a very high amount of pressure. You need to really squeeze those embossing folders together in order to make an impression on your paper. So this is what is sometimes known as dry embossing, where you just literally using the paper in between an embossing folder, run it through, and you have an impression. I'm not going to kind of bore you with doing that a plain one, because this is very much about extra techniques, but just putting it through an embossing folder can end up with some really lovely results. Let me just see if I can grab something in my examples box just to show you. So for example, here is one using the music notes one, and you can see that there's a really lovely impression, no added ink used, just the cardstock and the embossing folder, and it's gorgeous, you know. And there are so many different styles out there on the market, and Stampin' Up do lots and lots. So there are two main types of embossing folder. There's a 3D one and then what I call the normal one, all right? And so the normal one is kind of a little bit thinner than the 3D one. I don't know if it's, is it going to focus? Maybe not, maybe. So those are a little bit thinner and these are a bit thicker. So when you put them through your machine, you do need to change the kind of the recipe, as it were, of the different plates. But the Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine make it so simple because they put all the numbers on the plates, and they actually give instructions on the plates as well. So I'm just grabbing mine to show you. All right, so we have, this is plate number 1. And here you see there's an actual diagram attached to the plate itself. So you haven't got to then be running around trying to find your instructions that came in the box, you know, a tatty old piece of paper that's got lost amongst all your goodies. The instructions are actually on here, which I think is a really great idea. So we've got plate 1, plate 2. The clear plates, I think, are affectionately known as, oh, they're plate 3. Sorry, I have very old plates, you see, as well as the newer ones. So we've got plate 1, 2, you get 2 plate 3s, and then you have this one, the speciality plate 4. Now, if you've got a machine that's not this one, The speciality plate, these ones can be purchased singly, and basically you need to have a base plate and then one of these and then your 3D embossing folder and you're good to go. Right, so now I've just done a quick explanation. If you need any more help with this, please just email me, ruthtrice@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to give you a little bit more information as needed. So, as I said, let's go back to the first technique that I wanted to show you. And this one is particularly nice if you've got, say, a floral design where you could imagine perhaps the different elements in the design being different colours. So the floral one, you know, maybe the seashell one. What else have we got? Yeah, those ones in particular, perhaps. So I am going to grab out some Stampin' Right markers. So the techniques I'm going to show you today are very much about how to colour your pieces of paper using your embossing folders. So you've got an innie and an outie basically. So why on earth so early? I'm sorry ladies, but hello and good night. I'm off to sleep, lol. Oh, wow, Heidi, it's lovely to see you. Have a wonderful sleep. Why on earth so early? Because I wanted to, Heidi. Yeah, basically I've just got a gap in the day and I'm going to be busy this evening with a team meeting, so I wasn't sure that I was going to get back on, and if I do get back on it'll be still late. So have a wonderful sleep, my darling. Okay, so you can choose which side to colour, as it were. Now I'm actually going to colour where the Stampin' Up logo is. I'm going to open up my embossing folder. I'm actually going to colour inside here. All right, so I've got Black Blue Bliss here, and I probably should put a piece of paper underneath so I can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. I'm sorry, lol. It's just the way you phrased it. I was like, oh my goodness, I've offended Heidi by coming on early. Oh dear. Getting told off. Yeah, sorry, I've got a class, a local class with at the place where I run my workshops, and I'm going to be looking specifically at embossing folders, not necessarily Stampin' Up ones, but just looking at embossing folders and techniques using embossing folders. So I had a message from the ladies who run that venue saying, ooh, can you send us some photographs of examples of you know, things, you know, that we're going to do. So I thought, you know what, I have done all these techniques before, but I haven't got a kind of collection of them that I could easily show. So it would make sense for me just to do some examples and then, you know, have them ready for whenever I wanted to do a workshop. So I thought, you know what, I may as well just go on and do a live so that I can kill two birds with one stone by showing you guys, and it would be like a really great resource for anybody who, you know, is new to embossing folders. And then also I've then got a little catalogue of examples that I can show folks when I'm doing classes in real life. So there we go, that's why I'm on at this time of day. And as I said, I've got a team meeting a bit later on, so, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing later. So I've coloured in with Blackberry Bliss, the flowers, and I'm going now into the leaves with some Old Olive, and as you can see, I'm not being particularly careful. I'm just kind of like spotting a leaf and I'm sticking some green in it. I'm not being particularly, you know, like got to colour in really neatly or anything, because I'm just going to give you advance warning. I'm going to be spraying this with water in a second, and the colours are going to probably merge a little bit as well. Right, so that's a bit of the green, and then, oh, let's go for maybe a bit of the Nude Bay. Oh, lots of love, Heidi. Have a good rest. Sometimes it is best to rest, isn't it? So, Janine is taking a coffee break. Love it, Janine, love it. Yeah, you do need to have one of those, you know, in your working day, if you're doing stuff that's taxing. Oh no, I think that's supposed to be purple. It's so important to take rest breaks, isn't it? Right, today I don't feel like I've done, I have accomplished a little bit. I've sorted out the Zoom for Saturday for you guys who are doing the bouquet class. But by the way, you can still register for that. I actually emailed a couple of you. I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple of you in this chat who I've emailed today just to say if you did want to join it, you can still do that, but you've got to go and do your little donations. And oh, actually, this is Mossy Meadow. There's me saying, oh, this is Old Olive. It's not, it's Mossy Meadow. Right, okay, I wonder if I'm just going to grab some Granny Apple Green. I'm actually just going to put a little bit of Granny Apple Green in some of these leaves, just to make it a little bit more interesting. Where I know that I can see some gaps. And then I'm going to get a little bit of yellow. Put some yellow in the centre of these flowers. And I think what I'm going to do is, before I spritz, I'm actually just going to very lightly clean my plate a little bit, because I'm being so messy. I know I'm getting ink everywhere. Okay, I think I need a little bit more purple, and then we're nearly ready to do spritzing. I'm just going to get a dry cloth and I just want to wipe very gently across the top, so that the ink that is on here is the ink that is inside the valley section. Right, I've got to lift you guys up a second because I've got to give myself plenty of room here. You also would benefit from having a rag, like a cloth nearby, because this is going to get a little bit messy. Checking the direction of your spritzer. How many people have spritzed their spritzer and it got a wet face? It's very easily done. So I'm just spritzing. How many times am I spritzing? What's that? About 10 times? And I'm not too close. I'm kind of quite high up. I'm going to place my piece of paper. So this is basic white, the thin basic white. I'm closing that up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to just stick a peg in there like that for a second while I get my machine. Something worse than letting it move around. So, oh, take care, Susan. Go have fun. Hi, Gina. Still working on my one daily cup of coffee. Oh, lovely. Enjoy it. Yes, I'm still working on mine, actually. I had a late cup of coffee. Andrea says, I was dreaming about this technique the other night. Oh, my word. There we go. It's meant to be. Right, you're always meant to put the embossing folder fold through your machine first. I think it puts less stress on it. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? I forgot to put plate 1. Oh, this is, what am I doing? I'm doing the wrong plates. Right, so because this is a normal embossing folder, you need the 2 plate 4s, sorry, plate 3s with plate 1, and you make a little sandwich. And then you run it through. If you want to do it back again, you can. I just count it as moisturising. If you follow my tip of marking an arrow at the top of the direction of the spritz, it will help. Genius! Hello, Esther. Right, this is the moment that we all love. Are you ready? Oh, it already looks amazing. Look at that. Oh my word. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it just looks like a really fancy piece of wallpaper, doesn't it? See, it's so well worth the colouring in. Oh, I know the colour's got to dry yet, but isn't that gorgeous? Come on, let's have the thumbs ups for this, guys. Isn't it stunning? Right, so that was technique number 1. I'm going to have to just write a little list because I need to be able to remember what techniques I've done. So this was the one, colouring in and spritzing. Okay, right, that's number 1. I'm just going to put get a pencil and just write on the back. I'm just going to put a number 1 there. Okay. Marvellous. I like that. And then I'm just going to give that a little clean. So if you were in a bit of a hurry, I'm going to do that technique again, but I'm going to use the wrong side this time. I'm actually going to put some ink onto this section so that you can see what it looks like. Let's go for a little bit of, I don't know, let's go for a bit of Coastal Cabana. And actually, I'm going to ink both sides so that you can see what happens. So I'm going to ink there, then ink on here. So I have found over the years the best technique for this is just pouncing the ink pad. Swiping actually kind of puts the ink on and then takes it off again. A bit like, you know, when you're trying to spread butter that's too cold, you end up like taking off more than you meant to. Okay. Right, I'm thinking I would like to see what would happen if I just do a bit of colouring again on these flowers here. Just to see what happens. And as you can see, I'm like really roughly colouring in. I'm being super duper lazy here. Do a bit of that one. Right, this one I'm actually just going to leave. So I'm going to pop a piece of paper over there. I'm going to be naughty. I'm actually going to put 2 pieces of paper through at the same time. Oh, no, that's the wrong spray. That's cleaning spray. All right, so I'm just going to give this a little bit of a spritz. Just to get some of that purple moving around. I'm going to place that over the top. Oops. Oh well. Next time, just do it this way, like that. All right, my Peggies. Get my Peggies. Hello, Peggy. Get my machine back. Get my plates ready. Actually, my lovely sister Esther is watching. For Christmas, she gave me some brand new plates for this machine. And I haven't unwrapped them yet. And I'm thinking, it probably is about time I do, but these old Sizzix ones are still lasting me. So... okay, so very different results for this one now. So just got a kind of tone on tone result there. And then we've got some kind of highlighting, spotlighting, but just a very different look to that one. Maybe if I'd spent a bit more time colouring it in, would have looked better, because I obviously didn't spend so much time. And also we've got some of the purple blurring there. But, you know, just interesting and different. Okay, so that was ink pad. So let me just write down on here. Number 2. oh, actually 2A and 2B. To be or not to be? So 2A was ink pad and colouring. 2B was ink pad only. Oh, and then this was on the logo side. Okay, so I've just got to write these notes so that I know what to say to these ladies when I do the workshop with them. Right, let's give this a little bit of a clean. Now it's time to use my cleaner. And if you clean them off straight away while the ink is still a little bit wet, it should be all right. Now, I can see that Martina's commenting about different techniques, and she is the queen of embossing folders. So I'm just going to go and have a look back. They were regular markers, not alcohol. Absolutely, Lisa. Water-based, please, because you're going to be spritzing. Now, it would be interesting to do alcohol and spray with alcohol. I have never done that before. So if you have done that, put your hands up and let me know how it worked. But yeah, so water-based markers and water. I sometimes use a water-soluble crayon. Ooh, that would be interesting. Okay, fab. Okay. Yeah, let me know what other ideas you guys have got. Right, so back to the whole inking business. I wanted to sort of talk about if you wanted to do like an ombre effect. So I think what would be the best one to do it with. Oh, I know what, let's go for this one. Just trying to think, it would be nice to do some kind of like sunset effect. So say we go for 3 colours here. We go for yellow, orange and red. I would start with the lightest and brightest colour first. And so what I'm going to do is just apply the yellow, first of all, to the top half of the folder. Now, because the orange is a little bit darker, I'm not going to worry too much about a little bit of cross-contamination. But I know what, I'm just going to clean off that bit there, just to limit the contamination. Then put some orange. So this is Mango Melody. That's the name of this colour here. There we go. And again, just to save on the contamination, just got to wipe off a little bit there. Now, some people would say that whenever you're embossing, especially with the thicker embossing folders, to do a little bit of spritzing, so that, or spritz the paper at least, because it allows the paper to, when it's dampened, it doesn't crack. So some people end up with cracked paper. I've never experienced that myself, so I don't tend to worry about it. But the reason that I would spritz in this circumstance is just to help some of this colour merge a little bit. So I'm not going to give it too much of a spritz. That's about 6, and I can see that already. You can see there's a little bit of dripping happening here, which is quite fun. You see that colour starting to run down a little bit. So we'll let it do that. I'll just give it one more little, ooh, spread in the wrong direction. Just give that a tap. Let's get a nice fresh piece of cardstock. Okay, give that a peg. So this time, because this is a 3D embossing folder, oh, sorry, 3D embossing folder, I'm going to use plate number 1, then my embossing, and plate number 4. Oh, of course I can, Deborah, yes. So the first one that I used is called Pretty Pretty Flowers, and all the things rubbed out. 155428. And the one that I'm using now is called Time Worn Type. Okay, look at that. Gorgeous ombre. Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know where I went. I knocked my screen. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, am I here? Yeah. Right, there we go. So look at that. You can see where the colour was starting to run down a little bit. See, I wouldn't mind trying this technique again, but maybe with a slightly different embossing folder, and then a different colour, and try and, like, I don't know, have like a pale section, and then have like a nice dark colour to run down to. Should we try that? Like something like painted texture. Should we do that one? And yeah, what about mint macaron? So again, on the section that's got the logo, so I've gone for mint macaron, and some Pacific Point. Then a bit of spritzing, particularly on the Pacific. And then allowing it to run down. I'm a bit partial to a bit of drippage. I've even got some on my finger. Right. I don't use my embossing folders enough. Oh, right. Well, I hope this video will inspire you. Oh no, what am I doing? Wrong one. Wrong plate. This is a 3D embossing folder, so I need to use the plate 4. Judy got her Stampin' white markers at a garage sale. Wow, that's a good find. Oh wow, that's interesting. So, looks like a mountain has kind of like exploded. There we go. Yes, I've done that too, Gina. So Gina's saying that she's used ink refill. Yeah, you can do that with, particularly with this type of embossing folder. Actually, I might do that with this one, just to show you an alternative. Another kind of design, sorry, another technique. I mean, I have done just without ink, just embossing on top of stamping, and I think textured stamps like this, sorry, textured embossing folders like this can make your paintings almost look like they've been, sorry, your stamps, I'll rephrase that, your stamping stamping, like say if you've done a one sheet wonder, if you roll it through this, it gives it a kind of painterly feel. So that's what I particularly use these sort of textury ones for. Right, so someone mentioned re-inkers. So I'm going to just put a bit of Granny Apple Green all over this to start off with, so that I'm not, I've already got a bit of a starting place. Oops. And I'm going to grab my re-inkers, and if we go for a bit of Evening Evergreen. Actually, this is a good opportunity for me to remind you that these colours, the Soft Succulent, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen and Fresh Freesia, they're going to be leaving us in a few months. So if you like them and you need to stock up on your re-inkers, please do, because now's the time that a lot of people know to restock. So if they're colours that you enjoy, go grab them. So I've tried to put re-inker where the stems are, and not too much of it, because a lot goes a long way with re-inkers. So let's give this a bit of a spritz, get that moving around. Look at that. Woo! Isn't that fab? It also makes a slight difference if you dampen the paper instead of the folder. Oh. Okay, I might have to just do a scientific kind of, do these techniques, or some of these techniques again, but dampening the paper first rather than the folder. That will be interesting to see the results of that. Good point. See, I love going live because you guys have got so much experience as well, and I learn from you as much as you learn from me. Whoa! Look at that! Isn't that fun? I like that. Okay, so we're going to call that one, that's number 4, because I forgot to write my notes on number 3. Keep losing my pencil. Where's my pencil? Use this one. So this is 3. This was number 4. I've just got to find somewhere to write it now. Right, so 3 is ink pad, ombre, spritz and drip. Then number 4 is ink pad, re-inker and then spritz. Okay, how fun. That is super duper fun. All right, so there was another technique I wanted to show you. Actually, before I move on to this next technique, so the next technique is going to be using white, the pigment white ink pad on coloured cardstock. But before I move on, while I'm cleaning up, if anyone has got any other ideas they want me to try, please let me know now. Type away, quick. What is 3? Oh, number 3 is applying the ink pad with 3 different colours or 2 different colours, spraying it and then letting it drip. Wouldn't do this stamp paper if you use re-inker. Ah, okay. I know what. Okay, let's just, while I'm waiting for you guys to respond, I am going to I know what I'll do. I'll do a technique where we do a combination of colouring and inking. So I'm going to do crumb cake on the back of, oh, sorry, on the front of this one. And this time I'm not going to spritz. I'm going to spray the embossing folder. So I've just got a bit of flirty flamingo here. I've already got quite a bit of crumb cake on here, so it's okay. I'm contaminating my flirty flamingo pen, but never mind. No, this one hasn't got it on so much. Let's do that. That one there. A bit of garden green. Try alcohol markers and alcohol spray. Ooh. Now I have to check I've got an alcohol spray ready to use. Oh, I just coloured the wrong bit. That's shell, not seaweed. Okay. Now, the other thing that you can experiment with is different types of paper. So I've just been using basic white, but if you were to use the shimmer, that would be different again. Okay, so spraying the paper quite generously. Okay, you can sort of see the different things there. And lay that down. Clip that up. I've used watercolour paper for this. Yes, yes. Good. Oh, take care, Deborah. Have a good time. Yes, just water, Caroline. Actually, putting the foil cardstock through embossing folders is quite fun. Might try that in a second. Ew. There we go. How nice is that? Very subtle. I probably could have done a better job doing my colouring in, to be honest. But, oh yes, Stampin toilet paper. Yeah, that can be done. Yeah, I've been in a bit of a hurry to do the colouring, but I think if I'd spent a little bit more time, it would have been a bit more neater. So, Nice though. So this is dampening paper. I'm going to write that. This is number 5. Put that there. Get my notes. 5. Colouring in and dampen paper. Okay. Right, so I've done that one, Done that one. So the next technique I have shown you how to do this there was a lovely sort of tile embossing folder last year that it worked really well on, but it's that of using pigment white ink first on dark paper and then going back in to add colour. So I'm just going to figure out which side I want this design to be. I think I'll do it with this one. This is quatrefoil tile. I'm just trying to decide. So you kind of want you want the side that's got the raised bit up so that you can apply your ink. So this one is the Stampin' Up side. And what you do is you put your white ink on first, and you kind of have to just tap it a few times, okay? So just like when you stamp with the white ink, it takes a little bit of time just to build up that layer. You can see it starting to happen, can't you? I'll put that underneath, you'll be able to see it better. And it's worth just keeping going until it's completely white. Now I did have a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock here. Yes, look. It works beautifully with Blackberry Bliss. Okay. Where are my Peggy Doodies? Oh, there they are. Okay. Peg that together. Now we don't need this one because it's not a 3D embossing folder, so I just need my 2 clear plates. Hi, Anne! I haven't stamped much. I have been knitting quite a bit. Can't do much until the doctor releases you. I know. I'm glad you're doing some sort of crafting, Melanie. Sometimes it's nice to have an excuse not to, for me it's nice to have an excuse not to do paper crafting and do other things, because paper crafting is not just my crafty passion as well. So oh no, hold on, what am I doing here? It doesn't feel like it wants to go through. Yes, it does. Come on. I have got this right. Look at that. Isn't that fab? I'm just going to bring that down so you can see it better. Okay, now I wanted to show you what would happen if you wanted to add colour to this now, because we've put that layer of white on there. If you wanted to you can then add colour. So it's really important to clean your embossing folder very, very well, because pigment ink is different to dye ink. A little bit more of a spritz. And I'm just going to do a partial on this one. I think I did it with So Saffron once. I'm just going to do a section of it. I'm just going to do the bottom half. Now this is the trickiest bit of this now, is to realign the design. Realign the design. So it's worth hovering until you know you've got it. I think I've got it there. Okay. No, wrong. Yeah, no, right one. That one. Then that one. This is the quatrefoil tile, Janine. Quatrefoil tile. Oh, Martina, sorry to hear that. Oh. All right, now you can't, there's not a massive difference, a slight difference, not a massive difference, but there's this section here is somewhat darker, can't explain it. This is a bit different to this one here. So this has got the white, and then this, I don't know if you can you just about see it? There is a little difference. So it's worth experimenting with which colours work on which cardstock best. But just know that if I had just done So Saffron directly onto the dark cardstock, it just would not have showed up like this. Okay, it would have been it just would have got lost. But by placing the white before, you've got a bit more of a chance of the yellow showing up. Okay, I don't know, it might be worth doing it again, but you know, maybe a pink, I don't know, might be a bit different. Anyway, that I just wanted to show you that that is an option. Now let me just see. I'm going to give this a bit of a clean while I have a quick think as to what else I could show you. Actually, if I just do it the other side of this one, and maybe tone on tone, that can be really fun. So I'm going to go Blackberry Bliss, but this time I'm going to go on the opposite side. Just going to add colour. Pop that onto there. Hi, Linda. I'd like a class playing with folders like this. Oh, yes, I did earlier, Cindy. Yeah, I did the ombre. Yep. Actually, tell you what I'd be fascinated to do is just putting some colour at the top and spritzing and letting it go down the ink, the embossing folder, and not have any other colour. That might be interesting. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness, that just looks so luxurious. So it's in, I mean, just embossing with this folder is lovely, but having that added bit of Blackberry Bliss, that added, it just makes it look so like aged, you know, when, I don't know, yeah, it just looks amazing. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm wondering whether just to do a quick technique using foil paper or foiled paper. I know Martina does it quite often. Sorry, bear with, I've just got to find some. Okay, so for example, look, I've got this foiled kind of stuff, which I personally, I'm not a huge fan of. So if you've got some foil that you're like, it's okay, but you know, let's see what happens if I put some colour on there. Now, the only thing about adding colour to foil is that it is likely that the ink is going to take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to use some Memento, the Tuxedo Black Memento ink to do this. Not quite sure how inky this is actually, how juicy it is. I've got another one that's juicier. Hi Rosemary, can't wait to try these out. Oh, fantastic, good. Please do. Yeah, I could do a class, Lorraine. I feel like I'd be robbing you of your money really, because you could just watch this video and do it. I don't know what else I could teach you in a class. Or is coming to class kind of like, the benefit of it is that I'm there to crack the whip. Okay, come on guys, move on, next technique. Hi Delinda. So Martina says, just water in folder or on paper makes the embossing more detailed. Ah, okay. Yeah, fair point. It's the social aspect of a class too, says Janine. Oh. Ooh, that's fun. That's made it look way more interesting than what it used to look like. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. I've got to catch up with my notes though, so I'm just going to clean this off. Actually, there's enough ink to do another one. I know I've just sprayed cleaner on that, but I don't want to waste it. Oh dear. Oh well. We're going to have paper that smells of cleaner. Actually, I quite like the smell of Stampin' Up cleaner, so it's all right. Okay, I can do an embossing folder class if you want me to. Right, so this is what happens. This is second generation with Stampin' Up cleaner. All right, not water, just cleaner. I'm guessing cleaner has a little bit of detergent to it, so I'll be interested to see if it does something to the ink. Right, so let's give this a bit of a clean as well while I'm here. I do recommend the Stampin' Up cleaner because it's great for cleaning stamps, and it actually helps to recondition your rubber stamps, but also, you know, to have on your desk when you're doing this kind of work. It's very easy to clean up. Right, so where's my notes? So we did colouring in and dampening paper, so that was the seashell one. Right, so this is number 6. So this is a white ink, then coloured ink. Then 7 is this one, which is tone on tone, we'll call that one tone on tone. Eight is black on metallic. 9 is I'll call it 8B. What should I call that one? Oh yes, Gina, you're right. I think I know what Gina means. Bear with. Leftovers, I'm going to call that one. Right. Yes. Okay, so yes, there is a technique with embossing powder. So what you do is you use your embossing folder with Versamark ink, and then you put your embossing powders over the top of it. I'm trying to think what would be the best one to do that with. Hum. Sure, we used to have a brick one, didn't we? Oh, there it is. So you've got to kind of like feel which way up it will be best to go. Okay, let's try this way. Right, so get a piece of cardstock. You know what, I'm going to go for a bit of grey. Got a scrap of the grey here. And I'm just going to use my embossing buddy on there. Just a sec. Okay. So what you do? Ooh! Oh! Don't know how I got all that on there. Oh, I took it to a class. This was meant to be the one that I kept nice and clean. It is no more. It's fine. It doesn't actually interfere with anything. It's just me. I just like having a nice white one, clean one. Right, so I'm going to emboss that. So again, 3D embossing folder. This one is called Bricks and Mortar. 3D 149643. Hello, Tashana. Lovely to see you. I always put the ink on both sides just in case one side I like the better. You know what? That is a really good tip, Tashana. Thank you for that. Yeah. Second gen with cleaner. Yes. Yeah. Right. So I need to have a nice clean piece of grid paper, because I'm going to be putting embossing powder on here. I think it was Which side did I do the... Who can remember which side did I do? Which side did I use? Oh my life. Right, should we go for a bit of white? I know what, I'll just try it out and see what sticks. Oh, definitely this side. Okay. Oh my goodness. Where's my brush? Oh, I did find my brush the other day. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful. I just want to brush the top layer off. I don't want to brush the... I want to keep the powder on the inside, if that makes sense. It's not working though. Try that again. Oh well, I'm just going to go with it. I'll tell you one that it might work better with. It's a seashells one. Hold on. I'm going to just try it very quickly. Just going to run it through off screen because I don't want it. I've got all my embossing powder there. Probably should have put the embossing buddy over it before I did it, but never mind. No, wrong side, Ruth. I'm like, why is it just pouring off? See, ordinarily we would use that side. It's quite fun. Oh, you can use your finger just to run it over. Just wanting to take that layer off the top, but not off the detail. Okay, we'll see what happens. As I say, I do the experimenting, so you don't have to. Or I make the mess, rather. Although, come on, it is fun to experiment yourselves. You don't have to just watch me do it. So if you decide you just can't live without a cut and emboss machine after watching me do this, the sign-up offer at the moment is a great way to purchase it, because the machine is just over £100. But at the moment, the sign-up offer is that if you sign up, and it costs £99 to sign up, you get £170 of product. So that's your machine bought already. Plus, you'll have some spare for embossing folders. The plates also come with the machine, so you don't have to worry about buying separate plates. They come with it. I was just checking I used the right powder then. I was thinking, no, I hope it's not the heat and stick. No, it's definitely the white, so it's okay. Got to wait for a second for my heat tool to warm up. Hi, Karen. Yeah, the bricks has ended up looking like it's just slightly snowy or something. It's very subtle. It's nice. Really nice. Trying to catch up with your comments. Looks like my coffee break as well and run into my lunch hour. Well, you've not been working while you've been listening to me, Janine? Very pretty. Sherry says it brings out the texture of the brick more. It does, doesn't it? That's fun, isn't it? And then look at that. I think I've got everything. Yeah, there's no powdery bits left. Look at that. Really fun. Now I remember doing this with using this embossing folder with the chalk and then sealing it with, I wonder if that's worth having another little go. Shall we just have a little experiment with that? Let's see. We're putting chalk on and then spritzing it. I can't remember if it worked or not. Ooh, red brick. Yes, that would look great. I don't know which side is going to look best. I'm just going to do it all over, I think. Okay. Oh, I better cut piece of cardstock actually. I haven't got one ready yet. Right, so water. Oh, I know what, I'm going to put water on one side. Try and do it on one side. Then I'm going to spritz the paper for the other side. Got thumb ache now. So put the water spritz side on the dry side. And then put dry paper on the other side and flip it. So we'll see the difference between the two. Now, is this a 3D? I think this is a 3D one, isn't it? Oh, hold on, what will I put through here? Oh, it's just feeling a bit tight because I put 2 pieces of paper. Oh, brusho crystals. Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, it's a shame we don't carry the crystals anymore. But yeah, I still got some left over. I've kept mine. I love them. Ooh, a bit messy, but... So I can't remember which side was which now. I think this was the dampened paper with the dry side, I think. I'll have to go back and watch my video. Yes, yeah. So this was the side I spritzed, and this is the side that was dry but with wet paper. So that's the difference. I don't really have a preference. The qualities of each have got their own merit. So it's just which you prefer, really. If you like seeing the powder, or if you like to see the colour run together a bit more. Yeah. I need to use my pastels more. There we go. Yeah. Good. Yes, I suppose they're an alternative to the... because they are quite highly pigmented, aren't they? Right, give that a clean. I think I might have to go and wash these in the sink and just give them a really good brush with my dish brush, because you can see where the colour's gone inside there. So I might just do one more experiment with the pastels, and then I'm going to call it a day, I think. Oh, I haven't done the alcohol. Oh, I'm a bit nervous about that. And hold on, let me just check to see if I've got a spritzer that's got alcohol in it. I haven't got one to hand. I think I'll save the alcohol experimenting for another day, because, like I said, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't got. Okay, let's just do another one of these. So I'm just using my scissors. Making a nice old mess here. Take care, Tashana. Buzz you later. Both cool, but I think that's like the paper spritz side the better. Ah, okay. Yeah, it did have sort of like a powdery, you still saw the powder, but this one I'm going to spritz a lot to see what happens if I do a lot of spritzing, because I still got a whole one left of these, so I filled 3 of these for this video. Right, I'm actually going to hold it quite high up because I don't want really big blobs of water. I want very fine, and I want it just to slowly build up. Oh, let me protect that. I want it to slowly build up. I want to see that colour merge into each other a bit. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, run out of white card. Oh, I've got some of these quotes to use up. I think I might use it. Use one of these. Oh no! Oh, didn't mean to do that. Right, Peggy. Hi, Glenna. Rub the crayons directly onto the folder. Oh, okay, I'll do that one. Clean up as you go. It's not fun. It's a very different result, isn't it, from when you just do the inks. Okay, let's try doing it direct to embossing folder this time. Just colour in directly. Not indirectly, colour in directly. The comma makes a difference. Oh, now, there's an embossing folder that I really do like, but it is retired, but I'm going to use it because I know a few of you do have this one. So I think I'll use... doesn't really... it sort of works, Martina, but... not terribly well. I suppose it gives you a little bit more control. Try that. I'm going to do this one this time. Maybe not quite as much water. Ooh, going in with your finger after you sprayed it is good. Oh, sorry, can't see what I'm doing, can you? There we go. Right, try this one. I'm just going to do it off camera. Here you go. So I'm using the debossed side. Bob, hello. You've woken from a morning nap and found my artful friends. Oh, hi, Bob. There we go. All right, I'm going to try that again, but the embossing side this time. Oh, this is another one I'm going to have to wash. Let's go for a bit of purple. Oh, no, I'm going to put yellow down first and then put some yellow around there. Not like you're kind of colouring in. What is actually happening is where I'm encountering like the bumps, it's basically chipping off the powder. So please don't be fooled. I am not really colouring in as such. It's I'm chipping. It's kind of like chipping off, but I have a bit more control of over where it lands, as opposed to when I'm just scraping and it just kind of goes where it wants to go. So this is the benefit to doing it, applying it direct. I suppose you could do a combination. Hello, Kimberly. Yes, I have got a meeting tonight. I mean, if I'm not too tired after the meeting, I'll come on live, but I may not. I'll see how it goes. Depends what my teamies want to talk about. So we haven't had a team meeting since December, so and I've got different folks at different stages. Martina, are you coming? I hope you are. Right, I'm going to pop that on there. Do that. Right, I think this is the last one, so I'll let you watch the process. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Where's my cloth gone? Quick. Bit too dark around the drawing, the words there, but that looks amazing. Thank you for that suggestion, Martina. That's awesome. It's got a really kind of what's the word I want? Slightly ethereal quality, but also very artsy, like watercolour effect. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. You'll have to join my team to find out, Shaz. So if you sign up to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator, you get to chat to me. I think there's a little bit left over here. So I'm going to just give this an extra bit of spritzy love and see what the... Oop, running out. what happens if I just do another inking of it. I was actually thinking of sending out some Galentine's cards to my girlfriends, and I was thinking of using up some of these quotes. So this is a really super duper quick way of just embellishing, stamping, I don't know, inking up your quotations that you might print off. And I'm quite impressed my ink from my printer has held up against the water. Now, this one didn't print properly. That's why the words are missing. It's not because something's happened, but I really like that. Oh, it's a shame I didn't realise that one had a mistake on it. But that, I love that. Look at the many colours on the dots. Yeah. I'm so going to do this again. I think I might have to do a chalks class. If anyone in the UK wants to do basically a hybrid class where I send you, where you purchase the these chalk things, pastels, what are they called? Soft pastels assortment. I'd be happy to send out cardstock and maybe some printed quotes if you're into C.S. Lewis. Put another sentiment on top of that one. Oh, this one, yeah. Hold on, let me just see if I've got another one of these. I've had they're all kind of printed out. I'm a bit gutted. But that one. Oh, yes, I have. That's the one there. I might have some, yeah, there's a little bit spare on there. I know what, let's just do a little bit of very light shaving this time. Light shaving. Very light. Not too much. Just a little sprinkle. I'm going to add a little bit of that as well. And I keep saying this is the last one. Then I get distracted. Oh, we're running out of water. Yay, got one more. Second generation, yes. Second generation pastels. Shaz has got a hand up. I feel left over, not on the team you want, and not chosen to the end, love. Bad teams are split by the ocean. Oh. I love this quote. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. There we go. That's lovely. So that was the first one, which I did a lot of chalking on, which is nice. I do like it, but I think when you've got a quotation that you want to show up, that you want that faded off look, so being a bit more delicate worked, I think, there. Ah, right, I have had so much fun, and it's been made all the more pleasurable by having the company of everybody on the live. If you missed the live, I'm so sorry, but please do comment in the comment section and let me know which was your favourite technique, or which one was new to you. So I'm just going to pop these on here, and I'm going to go through every single one now. I think that one was... Did I do that? Oh, that was that one of those, right? Okay. So this is going to be like a whistle-stop tour of various techniques. Whew, right, let's start at the very beginning. That was great fun. The embossing folder is the Merriest Moments one that I just used. It's retired, but quite a few people bought it. Quite a few of you bought it. So while I'm going through the review, as I'm reviewing, if you have got a question for me right now, please just pop it in the chat now, and I'll answer some questions at the end. I'm just going to take a swig of coffee just to wet my, what do they say? Wet my muzzle, my guzzle, my gizzle. Hello, Miss Maureen. Right, so first one, this is a technique where you use Stampin' Right markers and you colour in the inside, the deboss bit, okay, the valleys. Okay, so you colour in the valleys section. I tend to go with sort of quite strong colours, because once you spritz the embossing folder, not the paper, the embossing folder, they do tend to soften. So this was using Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, a little touch of Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. Actually, let me just double check. Bermuda Bay, actually. Hold on, my husband's trying to come through the door. Yeah, it's just chicken Kievs. Yeah. Sorry. Domesticity calls. So that's that one. Then this was putting the ink from the ink pad directly to the other side of the embossing folder. So just show you what I mean. So that one was colouring the section that's got the logo on it, and then this was adding ink just directly onto here, tapping it on, and that's what came from that one. On the other side, I did ink directly and then coloured very hastily, so you can do a much better job than I did. I coloured in the flowers, and then I actually did these both at the same time. I popped them in through the machine with 2 pieces of paper, which you can just about get away with if you're using the thinner basic white or very vanilla. I wouldn't recommend it with a thicker cardstock, but you can try. But if you break your machine, don't blame me. Disclaimer. Okay, so then the next technique was doing an ombre technique. So I applied Daffodil Delight to the top of my embossing folder. This one here is called Time Worn Type. So I applied Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody, and then Poppy Parade. I spritzed the embossing folder and allowed some of that colour to fall down, so we had a bit of a merging of colours, which is how we get that lovely effect there. So you don't have a stripe. I mean, if you want a stripe, that's fine, but I didn't, so that's why I allowed the colour to drip down before I put my paper on, and that's how I got that. Then I just did an extra experiment. This was Mint Macaron with the canvas embossing folder, and I did, this is Pacific Point, would you believe? It doesn't look like it, does it? Because it has all that water on it. But Pacific Point at the top of the embossing folder, spritzed, and then allowed to drip down, and that's the effect with that one. This one was then the embossing folder. This is the Fern embossing folder. So this was inked with... I think it was Granny Apple Green, and then I used a re-inker. I got Evening Evergreen re-inker and applied it directly to the embossing folder, spritzed it, but allowed the ink to really run before I put it through the machine, so that you get that lovely blending of colours. And I deliberately try to put the colour on the stem of the leaf there, so the darker middles would show up. So then the other experiment I did was by putting crumb cake onto this one, the seashells embossing folder, which I'm just trying to find. Is it called seashells? Yes, it is called seashells. 152718. The deboss side, so where the logo is, I put crumb cake along there and then coloured in the shells with a Flirty Flamingo pen, the Stampin' Right marker, and then coloured in the leafy areas. Again, I did it very quickly, so if you want to try doing that, you can do that in a little bit more neater fashion than I did. So completely changing tack now. Rather than using dye-based inks, I then used the pigment white ink that we sell, the Craft White, Whisper White, one of those names, but basically it's the white ink. It's a very different consistency, it's very sticky, and it's perfect for using onto coloured cardstock. So this has got the white applied again to the embossing folder and then run through the machine, and then this half here I put it through again. It's a bit like, you know, twice cooking something, twice embossed. I then put So Saffron ink directly to my embossing folder, and you can sort of see the difference. You've got white there, and then you've got white and So Saffron here. Okay, then this one I used the deboss side, and I just inked the embossing folder with Blackberry Bliss, and you can see that you end up with this really gorgeous kind of almost like tarnished look to the cardstock, where the inner bits are darker as well as embossed. Then this was a bit of an experiment to to emboss with black ink onto a bit of foil that I'm not really a big fan of, but do experiment with that. And you know, if it means that you end up using a product that perhaps you would have just stashed at the back of your cupboard, then it's worth grabbing out those bits of card or paper that you don't like particularly much, and seeing what will come of it. And to me, that's a bit more usable now. I've put the black ink on there. So that was the Tuxedo Black Memento ink straight onto the embossing folder and then run through. Then as I was tidying, cleaning up, I actually sprayed cleaner onto my embossing folder and realised there was loads of ink left. So this is just basic white cardstock with cleaner and Tuxedo Black ink. So smells lovely. So then someone in the chat suggested using Versamark ink. So this is what happens when you put Versamark ink on your embossing folder, then you put your cardstock through, then you put the powder on, and then you heat it, and then this is this lovely snowy effect with the white embossing powder. So this is embossing, okay, double embossed, not just twice cooked, but like double technique here. Okay, so embossing. And then I tried it also with that gorgeous seashells one, and I really love this effect. It's very ethereal, very pretty. Yeah, it's almost like ghosts of shells past, isn't it, with this one? Right, and then we moved on to experimenting with the soft pastels assortment. This is a current product, still available. And so I tried to, I used my scissors and have scraped the powder on. So we've got two different techniques here. This one is where I put the powder on and dampened the paper and applied it to the embossing folder. This one is where I actually spritzed the powder, and so you can see there's a little bit more merging of colours there, whereas this one you've got very much more powdery effect. And then we just experimented and experimented. So this was just trying to see, by applying more water, what would happen to the ink. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. I hadn't quite realised how much the chalk pigment would mix together and react to water. It's just not something I'd considered before, so I really love that. And then just played a little bit. These are all still drying actually. So by the way, if you want these quotes, these are available on as a document, a PDF document on Artful Stampin Space. If you like these C.S. Lewis quotes, they're still available for free. Yeah, so just experimented with actually applying the chalk directly to the embossing folder, spraying it quite liberally, then popping the paper through. So how many techniques have we tried there? So that's applying directly. So that's 1. That's just the powder. That's 2. That's spraying 3, and spraying the cardstock 4. 5, 6, 7. Oh, that was spraying it as well. Spraying the card, not the ink. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 different techniques. Wow. It is a long video, but there we go. 16 different techniques there. Hi, Sally Jo. Definitely you have to watch the replay to see the earlier ones. Go for it. Yeah. The floral one looks like the outside of a Chinese vase. It does. Yeah. There was a gorgeous floral that from a few years ago. It had all those lovely little roses. Yeah. Will the other markers work? Kimberly, it was suggested that I had a go with that one. I decided not to experiment with that right now because if you're going to use alcohol pens, you have to be prepared for the fallout. Not the fallout, the consequences. And so because I didn't have too readily to my hands some alcohol spray to clean it up or to play with it, I have not done that. So I'm going to save that for another video, and an experimental video, just to see what happens. So but yeah, great suggestion, but I kind of stuck to the water-based stuff today to see what would happen, apart from obviously the Versamark type stuff. So thank you everyone so much for joining. I'm just going to say a quick goodbye so you can see the face. Oh, my hair is such a mess. My goodness me. I'm just going to quickly wrap my hair around so that it and I'm wearing I'm wearing layers upon layers today because it's still been quite cold here, so I have been busy, Sally, yes. So these are all going to be example samples for a class that I'm going to be teaching locally at a local craft store. And they've got plenty of embossing folders that they want to sell, so they want to show people what to do with them. So it's not going to be a Stampin' Up class per se, but I certainly will consider doing an embossing class if anyone is interested. So do let me know, ruthtrice@gmail.com. You will obviously need a cut and emboss machine or a Sizzix, Big Shot or something like that, the equivalent. You will need embossing folders, you will need inks, you need water, you'll need a safe place to play, somewhere that's waterproof. You will need cloths, you will need Stampin' Right markers. You don't need the whole collection, just a few will be fine. So yeah, if you're interested in doing a Zoom class, this is certainly one that I'll happily to talk through it with you. You may not, well, I know I'll try and think of a project that we could make using the what you do, but it certainly will be very much a technique class. So hi Jodie, sorry you missed it. I know I've been on a bit earlier today, so I'm sorry if you have missed me live. I've just got other things. Sign me up. We'll email. Okay, thanks Karen. Okay, so I know I've got a list of some of you who want to do the Emboss Resist class. So again, if you're interested in that class, let me know. If you've already contacted me, you don't need to contact me again. Karen, you don't need to contact me about that one. I've got you down for that. So Emboss Resist is where it's this sort of advanced Emboss Resist where we use the clear embossing powder. I've just realised I've been talking so fast. You may have to just slow me down to understand everything I've said. Whew, right. Take care, everybody. I'm off to go and check my husband's put the chicken Kievs in the in the oven. I'm sure he has. He's good at doing that sort of thing. So lots of love to you all. See you soon. God bless. I'm going to leave my desk for you to see now. There we go. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can contact me through various social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. If you just type in Artful Stampin on YouTube or